Hi, going to do another lesson now. This one is also about rootless voicings, but we looked at some rootless voicings that had 9s and 13s. We're going to go a little further and see what happens if we alter or change some of those notes. So we'll have like flat 9, sharp 9, flat 13. So let's see what happens if we switch those into the voicings that we already looked at. Once again, we looked at how you're going to make voicings of chords, 4-note voicings, because they work great on the guitar. Well, lots of other kinds of voicings work great too, but these particular ones are what we're going to call drop 2 voicings. And you don't have to worry too much about why that is, but it's not such a difficult explanation. It's just that when you're going from the highest note in the chord to the next one down, you're going to skip a note that's in the chord. So for example, say if my highest note in the chord is F, and I'm playing an F7, the next note down would be the 7. But I'm going to take that 7 and drop it an octave. So we say that second voice down is the second voice, voice number 2. We're going to drop voice number 2. There we get drop 2. We'll put drop 2. We'll put the second voice on the bottom. And now we'll put the 5th and the 3rd in the middle. Okay, so we got root from top to bottom, root, 5th, 3rd, 7. 7 on the bottom. It's great to be able to understand the way these chords work and the notes in them, also from the top as well as from the bottom. Because when you're going from the bottom, it's going to be really helpful when you're comping. And when you're going from the top, it's going to be helpful if you're doing chord melody or something. So, all right, so now I'm going to get rid of the 9 in this chord. I'll put that there. My bass player friends will be playing the root down there, so it'll still sound like an F chord. And now I'm also going to get rid of the 5th and play the 13. Lots of times you will hear people say the 5th is probably the most expendable chord tone. And there are a lot of reasons why that is, but one kind of cool reason is the 5th is a pretty loud overtone of the root, so we kind of almost hear it anyway, even if it's not there, the perfect 5th. So anyway, here is an F13 chord with a 9. Sometimes people just call it a 13, sometimes people call it 13-9. Okay, all right. So the 9 is up here. What do you think it's going to sound like if we change out the 9 and add in the flat 9? Can you even sing that? Here's the 9. Here's the root. The flat 9 is just going to be a half step below the 9. So it's going to be, here's this same chord with the 7 on the bottom, 3rd, 13, and the flat 9. It kind of has a little bit, maybe more attitude than the 9. What if we go the other way? We make it a sharp 9. Keep the 13 in. So if you know where the basic chord tone is on each string, you'll have a good chance of being able to figure out how to alter those. So one more time. 7 on the bottom, 3, 13, 9, sharp 9, flat 9, flat 13, that's flat 13 and flat 9, flat 13 with a normal 9 or natural 9. Okay, so just hearing the chords by themselves doesn't really give you too much. But let's say I'm going to put them in a groove here, so I'm going to play. That's the 9, sharp. Hear how when I added that sharp 9, then went down to the flat 9, and sort of told you, hey, we're going somewhere else. We're getting out of here. We're going to a different chord. And I did. I went to a B flat, rootless B flat 7 chord or B flat 9 chord. This one has the 3rd in the bass. 3, 7, 9, 5. If I get rid of the 9 and I put the root in, it's going to be this. More plain, but sometimes better. It depends on the kind of music you're doing and everything. Put the 9 back in though. Now put the 13. Remember, I'm going to substitute out the 5th and put in the 13. Why the 13 for the 5th? Because it's close to it. They're a whole step away. So flat 13, you could probably, well, if you know this is 13, flat 13 is just going to sound a half step lower. No. Okay. One more time, 13, flat 13, Just put the 5 in. Here's the 9. Let's go with a B flat 7 sharp 9. Just move that note up a half step. Back to the normal 9, or natural 9. Then make it flat 9, 13, and flat 9. Flat 13, flat 9. So once you know where the basic chord tones are, 7, 3, root 5, then you can find where these alterations are. So how does that sound when I'm moving around through some chords? So I'm going to play it F7. B flat 9. B flat 7 flat. Then 13, I'm sorry, B flat 7, 13 with a flat 9, or that drop 2, I'm sorry, with a flat 9, and then back 2. I'm going to play some passing chords. Flat 9, I'm sorry, flat 13, sharp 9, D, then G 13, and then G flat 13, flat 13, and then in my F chord. I hope that was helpful. We went through chords with the 3rd on the bottom, we went through some with the 7th on the bottom, and we practiced finding the altered 13 and the altered 9. One last thing before you go. You might notice we said we've so far incorporated the root, the 3rd, the 5th, the 7th, the 9, the 13. Well, we skipped one. How about the 11? Well, in a dominant chord, we're going to experiment with the sharp 11. So what note in the chord is close to a sharp 11? The 5th. So here is a chord that has the 3rd on the bottom. It's an F7 chord, or F9. 3rd, 7, 9, 5th. I'm going to put in the sharp 11, which is going to be the same sounding note, or note that sounds the same as the flat 5. So, that's 3, 7, 9, flat 5. I did this on the top 4 strings. Let's take these same notes, 3, 7, 9, flat 5, or 3, 7, 9, sharp 11. Put them on the middle strings, 3, 7, 9, sharp 11, 3, 7, 9, sharp 11. Put them on the middle set of strings right here. Put them on the bottom set of strings. Middle set of strings, well, I can play them here again, and up here again. Bottom set of strings, I can play them right there. Or if I really want to play them way up the neck, I can do that here too. Let's go up 12 frets. Then the top set of strings, I can play them right here. I'm not going to really bother to go way up there. Well, why not? Right here. Oops, I kind of messed that one up. Here we go. So what we want to do is kind of learn how these chords are built so that we don't have to figure them out every time. That takes too much thought process as you're in the act of playing. Well, anyway, that's probably enough for one lesson. That's like almost 10 minutes worth of your time. So hope you like that, and feel free to let me know your thoughts and if it helped you, and if you need a little bit more help, then shoot me an email or a text or a Facebook message or an Instagram message or something like that. So anyway, take care.